Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner Classic Less Known Classics. This is episode number 2649 and episode number 2543. Now, you probably asked, Nick, where's the Blue X's video you've been saying you was going to do? What did you do last night? Didn't have much time to. But I'll hopefully get a chance to do it tonight. It'll be the first one I do today. Don't worry about that. So, we got first two straight comic corners to do. Let's get started. Now, this series in particular, I have heard rumors about this run as far back as 2015, I think it was like 2014, 2015 I heard about this. Until last year, there were rumors about this series coming back, and it finally did. First time in 12 years, we have Justice Society America, Volume 1, The New Golden Age. This collects the first 5 issues of Justice Society America, Volume 4. Yes, Volume 4, along with New Golden Age one-shot. Now, the rumors I had heard that this series was coming back. There was also plans to make a Legion of Superheroes. This was a rumor thing that had been going on, like I mentioned, like I just said, since 2014, for almost 10 years. Basically, I've been hearing rumors about basically the series coming back. And then it finally did. Thank you for that. So, pretty much New Golden Age one-shot is simply put, the story that they use here is a backdoor pilot. Now, you probably think, okay, so who are the characters we have in the cover? We have Jay Garrick, we have Iron Man, we have Dr. Fate, and by the way, that's actually Khaled. Paul Levitz created this version. He's actually still Dr. Fate to this very day. This is the Atom, Alfred, Stargirl, Power Girl, and I like this out better than the current outfit. We also have Hawk Girl. This is from design-wise. It looks like the Hawk World Hawk Girl. We also have Jericho Thunder, the Thunderbolt, Jim Corgan Spectre, Hawkman. You're probably thinking, who the heck is that? That's a new character. And who is this woman right here? That is Helena Wayne, a.k.a. the Huntress. Yes, this is the first Flashpoint appearance of the original Huntress. Yes, they do mention here about, there was another person called the Huntress. And that was a family friend. So, this book acknowledges that now there are two Huntresses, Helena Wayne and Helena Bertinelli. So, the big plot of this book is that, somebody's trying to kill the JSA. And who will be doing this? And it involves time travel. Pat Dugan. Yes, so they mentioned here, the last time he was ever seen was JSA number 72. Which I think that came out in, I'd say around 05-ish, I think it was. It was actually toward the end of Jeff Johns' amazing run on JSA. Of course, this book also references the events of, it also has a little bit of nods to Doomsday Clock and Flash Paradox. The Doomsday Clock, basically, that reference that one is to having the Punch Judy analog from the Watchmen universe. Excuse me, gets in the regular universe, and they have a kid together. And the other one from the Arkham family. Why the Arkham family? I don't know. Now, if you're curious about where Punch and Judy came from, this version of them, they actually were in Arkham Asylum, and now they're apparently from the Arkham family for some reason. Not sure why. But I love the time travel stuff, and the fact that, because and the whole thing, they bring in the fact that Paul Dugan, the time traveler, where essentially put the best way to describe this guy, he is DC's version of Kang the Conqueror. Except that he is not as known as Kang the Conqueror is. Kang the Conqueror has become a little bit more well known than Pat Dugan. Here's a little fun fact. Guess how many times this guy appears in the comics? The answer is once. On an episode of Legend of Tomorrow in Season 1 of the show. Yes, except the character had nothing to do with the JSA in the show, and mostly put for him, he is a character who's been appearing on and off in the JSA book since the 1940s. And This is not like, oh, flashback. Oh, no, no. This is actual comics. He first appeared on the page of All-Star Comic, which is the comic series that the JSA first appeared in. And he's constantly hunted over the years. Wildcats here. We also have appearances here by the second Hour Man, the second Wildcat. And there's also hints in here of the fact she has to take a Lazarus pill in order to keep a Calypso. That reference there, that's actually not when she died back in 1983. I think it was 1983. I think it was. Was prior to the whole that the Superman Nightfall stuff. Where in issue 13, I think it was, the Calypso, the short-lived Calypso ongoing series, she was one of many superheroes sent by the American government to eliminate a Calypso who had taken over a South American country, and she got killed. And here she is back. Yep. Here she is back in this book, and by the end of the story here, Helena is trapped in present day, and she's part of the JSA in this book, which is amazing. This book is... Oh, yeah, by the way, we also have future members in here where her version of the group is comprised of Dr. Fate, who was Khaled. He also meets... goes back in time, meets Kent Nelson, the original Dr. Fate. Her group comprised of Khaled, Solomon Grundy, Harley Quinn's son, Icicle Jr. Yes, Icicle Jr. If you don't know who the heck Icicle is, he's an old Golden Age villain. His son was a villain at some point, they represent in here, but he's since reformed. And he actually married the daughter of Sportsmaster in the pre-Flashman continuity, and they had a daughter together. Yep. Yes. And they do mention here he's the oldest son of the original Icicle. Mention if possibly he's got siblings. Don't really know. We don't mention here, but this book is just a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm going to give this book a 10 out of 10. Now, here's some other things that you should know about this. By the way, the artwork. Jeff Johns does the artwork writing here with... But here's a bunch of a picture of Helena Martinelli. Yeah, they gave her a radical redesign, but at least kept the mask the same. So for the both, like I mentioned, the Just Like America book and Golden Age, that's done by Jeff Johns. The artwork for the Golden Age one shot is done by Diego Arca, J.P. Meyer, Scott Hanna, Jerry Ordway, Steve Lieber, Todd Direct, Scott Nolans, Victor Bradovic, Brandon Pearson, and Gary Frank. The JSA issues are done by Michaela Jenin, Jerry Ordway, Scott Nolan, Steve Lieber, and Brandon Pearson, and Margot Cinconti. This is a Michaela Jenin cover. Yeah. Oh, by the way, she does meet her father in here. Yes. Which, of course, well, they mentioned in here that, from what I can tell anyways, is that this version of Helena, who is based upon the original Earth 2 Huntress, where her mother is Catwoman. And they also acknowledge the fact that Damien is actually her brother. So, yeah, it's like basically this version of the Earth 2 Huntress. It's like they took her and merged with the regular timeline. That's most of what exactly what they did with her. So, and Batman here, that's basically Prime Universe Batman. There's mention about Damien, the fact that also Catwoman did not want her to become a vigilante, but she did. But just a lot of really good stuff here. And anyway, oh, by the way, these issues in particular, they also have it where Flash meets up with his daughter Judy. Yes, Jay Garrick has got a kid. This daughter first appeared in the Stargirl Lost Children miniseries. I'll eventually read that at some point. And we also get a chance to see the successor to the original Iron Man, Rick Tyler. Or the original was Rex. Yeah, they pop up in here as sort of a, like, what happened just after that book wrapped up. Most of what Judy is there when she appears in this book. She's mostly set up the spin-off miniseries for Jay Garrick called Jay Garrick The Flash by Jerry Adams, which I've been reading it. It's really good. There's also... Oh, by the way, this book also has the origin of the famous picture you see when it comes to JS, defined as the JSA, where the team is basically brought together, and it turns out that Johnny Thunder, the original guy who was the partner of the Thunderbolt, he set up the very camera that took the famous picture at the famous meeting table. I'm like, that is cool. I like that. Yeah, amazing book this is. Alright, next up we have is, we're going to a character who was part of the JSA back in the 40s. Though when she first joined the team, she joined as team secretary. That got fixed later on. That was because of sexism. But here is something else. We have Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. Now you're probably thinking, Nick, what is up with this attire that she's wearing? And where's the swimsuit outfit she's not wearing? I'll get to that. So, this book collects from Wonder Woman Volume 1, not Volume 2, Volume 1, issues number 178 to 183. These issues came out of the period of 1968 to 1969. Yes, this is the all-new Wonder Woman. Yes, so 178 has it where Steve Trevor is framed for murder, and of course Wonder Woman tries to clear his name, and of course that's by the end of the story. Of course, also, she adapts the style of the late 60s. Okay, so we'll actually get to the reason for that in just a minute, so right after they clear the name. And then the very next issue, just after that she clears Steve Trevor's name, and then the very next issue, we have the title called The New Wonder Woman. There's a reason for that. So Steve goes apparently undercover as a traitor, and of course Wonder Woman is not happy with the fact that he's accused of that. Also, she changed a little of her hairstyle. So she's called back home. She basically declines to stay at home, despite that, and she gives her powers, but apparently later on she gets her flight back. This time her strength taken away. So then we have her set up for her store, and then she meets up with a blind man by the name Ai Chang. Yes, this is the first appearance of this guy. Now, by the way, the writers of this book are... Oh, by the way, the whole thing is basically... the reason why the Steve Trevor is going undercover and being framed for treason is because they're going after Dr. Cyber, who... I'll get back to him in just a minute. So, a lot of this book, first early portion of this book is written by the late Danny O'Neill. And artwork by Mike Sawalski, who takes over the writing duty with Time to Love, A Time to Die. Yeah, basically the first four stories Danny O'Neill, the last few are just Mike Sawalski. So, Ai Chang is here to teach Diana martial arts. And the whole thing, book becomes sort of serialized, a little more than usual, so... And then, of course, Steve is found the very next issue, and supposedly he dies. And then, here's the thing. After this issue, Steve Trevor is never mentioned again, and she gets sort of a new love interest. Yes, so... And then we're kind of introduced Dr. Cyber. Of course, we know who Dr. Cyber even is. So, this apparently is Dr. Cyber. So, most of the book becomes sort of a spy book. And tries to live with the whole thing in the late 60s. Now, this starts basically Now, by the way, I looked up basically the release dates of these issues. These books apparently were come out monthly, and then for this particular 4-year run, this went from monthly to bi-monthly, once every couple months. And by the end of this, basically, well, then she's called back to Themyscira, deal with invasion by Ares, and one of them basically does not want... the gods take her mother away, and it's a really good story, and they do wrap it up by this portion started 183. It's a brief 3-part story, but she doesn't get her offer back, so yeah, so she goes back home and of course establishes a new shop. So it's a good start for this run. I'm gonna give the book roughly a 9 out. It's very interesting the fact that this now, yes, Wonder Woman occasionally has been spy based, but this one basically, my personal guess is the reason why Daniel had this happen with Wonder Woman. With the whole thing of her getting martial arts teacher, the fact she could build all the god stuff. My personal guess is that they're trying to live with the spy craze, and they try to, excuse me, the Bond mania at this point in time. So, I think DC was trying to cash in on not the one TV show. Well, you could say partial one on TV show, and they probably want to try something new. This whole thing lasted for 4 years, and it didn't wrap up until issue 200. So you would think started issue 178, last 200, like 2 years. Nope, it was 4 years to release these issues. But I'll talk more about that later on because she acted as a count doctor saying for fully in there for next book. But pretty good book overall, and I'm glad I got this book done. So yes, so when I finish reviewing the Wonder Woman, the 99 Wonder Woman stuff, basically it's gonna create a gap per se between, I think it was it's from whatever basically I left off with the Wonder Woman Golden Age book, the paperback version of the omnibus. I think it was volume 3 was the last one. Yes, I think it was volume 3. So, mostly put in a way, this book basically having this here, this kind of basically confirms that I have started the gap between issues 11 and 178. Yes. Though I could say also probably 11 to like 100, because I have reviewed fully what issue 100 thanks to that 150s. So, there will be more. Don't worry about that. As a matter of fact, the very next comic corner will be the very next volume for the series. Yep. Oh, in case you're curious though, is there any Dr. Psycho here? Nope. How about Giganta? Nope. Cheetah? No. Hardly a classic Wonder Woman villain appears here, so we'll get to more of that soon. Okay, so that's going to be pretty much a particular view. Next time we have another comic corner, and then hopefully get a chance to look at Blue Exorcist next. Okay, next view. Bye.